Hello again, my name is Nick Zuloff. For this video discussion board, I'll be discussing the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment states the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. The 10th Amendment was proposed to by the first United States Congress in 1789, and then it was ratified on December 15, 1791, along with the rest of the Bill of Rights. It serves as a necessary rule of construction and as a reaffirmation of federalism. Its importance lies in the fact that it solidifies the rights of the states to self-governance while maintaining the supremacy of the federal government. It also helps to remove the ambiguity of this right. It was never explicitly stated in the Articles of Confederation. Over the years, it's become the subject of some pretty important case law. Its ultimate purpose is to limit the federal government to the scope of what's explicitly stated in the Constitution. The first case we'll discuss is the United States v. Sprague, 1931, which stated that it added nothing to the Constitution as originally ratified. The 10th Amendment has been cited in a number of labor and environment cases. Perhaps most importantly would be the United States v. Darby Lumber Company, which, as part of the ruling, the justices stated that the amendment states but a truism that all is retained which has not been surrendered. It goes on to say, its purpose was to allay fears that the new national government might seek to exercise powers not granted, and that states might not be able to exercise fully their reserved power. This was important. As we all know, the signers of the Constitution all came from sovereign state governments and were concerned, especially following British rule, that a strong central government would victimize them to like a monarchical overreach. Perhaps the three most important clauses that have come in under the 10th Amendment are the commandeering, commerce, and supremacy clauses. Let's see. Under this, the New York v. United States in 1992, as part of the commandeering clause, regarded a low-level radioactive waste law. It was a multi-part legislation. The third part, the states took issue with because it made states liable for damages from low-level radioactive waste. The Supreme Court ultimately found that the federal government can provide incentives to states, but cannot force them to enforce federal regulation. Under the Commerce Clause, the 10th Amendment became important, especially through the Great Depression, in a time where the economy was suffering. The United States was trying to bolster the economy. Some important case law that came in under that would be Wickard v. Filburn, 1942, that found that wheat for home consumption could be regulated by the federal government, as wheat could still cross state lines, and a farmer feeding his own wheat to his own livestock could create interstate commerce issues. A more modern example can be found with Gonzalez versus Raich regarding California Proposition 215, which legalized marijuana in the state of California. This case involved federal agents destroying Gonzalez's marijuana crop, which was grown for personal use, but found that given the illegal nature of the drugs based on federal law, that the government had the ability to remove the marijuana from her property. Regarding the Supremacy Clause, we'll discuss Cooper v. Aaron, 1958, which was a ruling that came as a result of Brown versus Board of Education from 1954. It's a series of court cases that went through appeals courts, ultimately reaffirming that segregation was illegal, as segregation was found to be unconstitutional. Those advocates of states' rights, particularly in the South, disagreed with the ruling and cited it as a violation of states' rights. Thank you.